Welcome to the Downtime from WTWH Media with your hosts, Sarah Wynn and Sheri Kasperzak, bringing you everything you need to know from the week in manufacturing.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Downtime. Sarah Wynn here.
And Sheri Kasperzak here. Thank you all so much for joining us again and for sharing your downtime with us. Welcome back to another episode.
Yeah, Sheri, we've got a lot on deck today. Do you want to set the table for our listeners so they can know what to expect?
I'm serving it up. As you can tell from my sunglasses that I got from the Pitbull show in Las Vegas at Epicor Insights, I'm back, baby. And Miss Worldwide has a great rundown for y'all from Epicor Insights 2025. I had a great conversation with Chief Innovation Officer of Epicor, Arturo Buzzalino. You'll want to check that out. We had a lot of great conversation about plant automation and the future of automation, and you won't want to miss that chat. And Sarah, what are you working on?
Packaging OEM recently put up a story about augmented reality packaging. It's a new trend. We're going to show you a live example of how you can use augmented reality packaging in your home and talk a little bit about it.
Great. That sounds good. So let's get into it. What do you say?
Let's go. It's going down.
It's going down. I'm yelling timber.
There you go.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I just flew in from Vegas and boy, are my arms tired.
Oh.
So yeah, I got a great conversation with Arturo Buzzalino. He is the Chief Innovation Officer at Epicor. We talked about automation. We talked about agentic AI. We talked about a lot of different things related to automating the plant floor and automating manufacturing and distribution processes. We had such a great conversation, and why don't you just take a listen to our chat.
Hey, I'm Sheri Kasperzak with WTWH Media, and I'm here at Epicor Insights 2025 with Arturo Buzzalino. He is the Chief Innovation Officer with Epicor, and we're so honored to have you here with us today.
Thanks, Sheri. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Happy
so
to be here.
Thanks. Congratulations on Prism AI, the new agentic AI from Epicor. Tell us a little bit about the functionality.
So obviously, thank you for bringing that up. I mean, for us, we're really excited about the functionality. Prism AI, we view it as revolutionary. Actually, when we launched the initial version earlier this year in January, we were the first ERP, actually conversational ERP, to go to production in the world. So we were pretty proud about that. It was a lot of hard work and working with our customers and on specific use cases. But yeah, talking a little bit about what Prism is. So Prism is an agentic network built on large language models and reasoning models. So right now it's not our own models. So like we don't have our proprietary foundational models at Epicor, but instead what we do is we actually use off the shelf. So be it, whether we're using OpenAI, Anthropic, Mistral, whatever, right? And then we take those and we actually fine tune those models and using a method called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, and a combination of fine tuning. In some places we may do reinforced learning and things like that. And basically what we do is we teach the model the structure of the ERP. The beauty about what Epicor does and has been doing for decades is we, as an ERP company, we run the core of our customers, and our customers are distributors, manufacturers, and retailers in the mid-market. So it's basically most of the supply chain is in our kind of space or kind of customer profile. So what we like to say is, like, Prism is the agentic network for make, move, sell.
Right. Yeah. Run through some of the specific functions. If I'm on the plant floor, how am I using Prism AI?
Yeah. So the way that Prism AI works is we actually focus with our customers. In the beginning, we're beta customers. Now, obviously, are paying customers, production customers. We actually do it in a way that may seem counter to scalability, but actually we do it very purposefully. So basically our engineering teams work hand in hand with our customers to solve specific challenges that they are facing in their day-to-day. So one example would be just making the ERP conversational and saying, hey, can you run, this part that I shipped last Tuesday, where did I ship it to?
Right.
So things like that, where you can run a query normally, or you would have to run a query manually. Now all of a sudden, somebody that has no idea how to even use that system can ask that question verbally or just type it out and then get that answer in seconds, versus having to open an IT ticket and like going through, or like calling the ERP expert to access some dashboard that I may not know of. So that's kind of probably the core of it. Another is what we call the knowledge agent, which is part of Prism. And the knowledge agent is basically access to all of our user training and user data. So you can basically ask it how to do anything in the system. So you could say, hey, how do I open, or how do I take this action inside of the ERP, or how do I, kick off an MRP run, or whatever it is. Like we actually it'll tell you, and it'll explain it to you in a way that you can understand, and it'll also reference the documents that you can go to. There's a number of other things that we've done, as well as our ECM agent as well, which is enterprise content management. So what it does is it allows you, so a lot of our customers already store a lot of their documentation inside of our ECM product. Well, now this agent allows you to basically conversationally understand what's in those documents. And sometimes it's thousands of pages, right? So it's like having superpowers, because now you can kind of answer things that maybe before you had to go digging or finding the expert in the company. But yeah, high level, those are like the big functionalities.
So say more about the functionality for training purposes, for kind of like taking all of those documented processes and putting it in a very like quick way that you can just, hey, I need to know how to do this, or I don't know where this is. We are evolving in how people learn, and how new technicians and how engineers really understand how to do their jobs. Talk a little bit about how like streamlining those processes kind of can help people in the trades and on the plant floor do their jobs better.
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think like one of our core or something that's core to our mission is, we always say, like, empowering the worker and keeping the human in the middle. Like, what we want to do is we want to kind of take the repetitive and mundane off of the human, so that people can focus on what they're good at, which is creativity and the strategic, right? And so, yeah, just like you rightfully say, people, it's kind of like you're trying to, if you might be new at the job, and you're trying to like take an action or you're trying to get to an outcome on the factory floor, or you might be trying to run some report for your boss because there's a reason that someone needs something, and it's always like we end up, I don't want to say wasting time, but we end up learning more time on learning how to pull that data, than like actually pulling the data, right? When the valuable part is pulling the data, not learning how to pull the data.
Exactly.
So for us, we're kind of turning that on its head, because now our customers are saving tens and tens of hours every week. And so what it's doing is it's freeing up people to do the more strategic things. We're just like, okay, now I have the data. Now I can make a decision, or now I can talk to somebody that knows that, so we can make a decision together.
Right.
So that's kind of what we like to say is, like, these 10x gains in efficiency are really going to lead to 100x gains in innovation, because now organizations can start moving a lot faster.
Right. Absolutely. Talk a little bit about human in the loop. We talk a lot about that in AI. From the Prism AI, standpoint, like, how do you view human interaction with the AI? What can the AI learn from interacting with the person who's inputting all of that data and asking all of those questions?
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of the AI learning, but then also the people learning. So, it's the user kind of learning how the AI works and how it best answers questions. But then it's our engineering teams learning how to best design the user experience, right? So that to get to those outcomes, because at the end of the day, the end user is always going to be a person, right? And so to us, that's what matters. And so we want it to be human. We want it to be intuitive. Everything starts with the user experience. So that's kind of our philosophy with that. A big part of it is kind of, whenever we answer a question or maybe the AI calculates something, show your work, right? So like that's kind of what we do is we show where it's coming from. What was the logic that it followed to get to that answer? And I think part of that too is working with our customers and saying like, okay, yes, now you can do things that much faster, but maybe spend the extra 30 seconds just to make sure that, hey, indeed it is doing something that makes sense, right? So that's what we mean by human in the loop, always having a person that's checking what the AI is doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we talk a lot about, AI being able to pinpoint problems. How important is the human in sort of correcting the AI? I think we're at a point now where AI is not perfected, and people are still required to step in and say, no, that's not the path I want to take.
Yeah.
How far off are we from AI being able to make the better decision?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. To me, it's really difficult to answer though, because it's like, how good is it going to get? I don't know. I honestly think there will always be a person involved in the decision, whether it's as a partner with the AI or as its QA or you're assuring that it's taking the right steps. The way that we build products is always the AI isn't making the final decision. The AI gives you an opinion, gives you what it thinks, but it lets the expert kind of make that decision. And what we believe is, because I know there's a lot of fear of, job displacements and all of that. But I think if anything, jobs will change and we'll be able to do a lot more than we did before.
Right.
So again, focusing on the strategic, focusing on the creative. So being an expert in supply chains, being an expert in sales, being an expert in kind of these human interactions or these processes, that is what's going to allow you to be a better creative mind that can then challenge what the AI is doing or use it or improve what the AI is doing. So I think that will be the new role kind of people.
Right, absolutely. Talk a little bit about, predictive maintenance, preventive maintenance, where the AI can say, hey, you have, a lot of scrap, and here is where the problem is, or we see that there's a lot of waste here. Talk a little bit about how AI is kind of revolutionizing, a maintenance plan, or how you might want to kind of shift your supply, like your supplier, or change the way that you kind of run your business. Talk a little bit about how the machine can help you troubleshoot. Let's simplify that. Troubleshoot.
Yeah, I can simplify that. So I think Prism AI, what it does, what it revolutionizes is the way you interact with the system. So kind of getting to those answers without needing to how do I fill out a form? Where do I need to click? What screens do I need to click? Do I need to code something, right? So that's what it's fundamentally changing. Now, the other part of our portfolio is what we're doing in the Grow Data Platform and Grow AI, which we also launched here at Insights this year. So that is a lot more focused on bringing in data into the data platform that yes, we have in the ERP, right? But then also actually bringing in third kind of tertiary data that you might want to marry up with your ERP data to get to whatever insight. Like you said, it could be IoT data for predictive maintenance or whatever other use case. But then actually giving you the ability to create machine learning models and predictive learning models in the Grow Data platform itself. And then once you have these learning models, the Prism agents can actually then leverage those models to get to a conclusion. So when you ask, and a question may be, hey, which of my machines am I at risk for needing to shut down to maintain? And now the agent can then access that machine learning model, run it, and it can answer your question. Absolutely. So I think that's kind of the way that we're building it out. So if you think about it, there's the cloud, and there's the Grow Data platform and its machine learning capabilities, and then above all of that is the Prism agentic network that kind of allows you to transverse all your data and get to an outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of manufacturers that are kind of afraid of AI and they don't want to automate anything. Mm-hmm. What is your advice to them? Are they getting left behind? Are they being less competitive?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as if anything, what's happening with reasoning models and large language models, it is very revolutionary. Like I said before, kind of like the touch screen or mobile before it. I mean, think about it today, right? It's kind of impossible to imagine someone going through their day-to-day without a smartphone or without right? Whatever your favorite phone is, whether it's Android or whatever. So I think what will happen is we'll face something very similar, but especially on the business side of things and in the supply chain, where companies that are at the forefront of cloud, AI, and different just digital capabilities, robotics, right? Because there's physical AI too that we haven't touched on. But the companies that are better equipped to thrive in that environment will be the separation of winners and losers and here in the near future. I think probably 5 years it is my probably prediction that I would say is AI will be ubiquitous in business.
Absolutely. You mentioned the physical, talk about robotics and how, the AI is the machine, the brain to the machine, how is that advancing and how is that going to have an impact on manufacturing, the supply chain, distribution, all the things.
So obviously, that's a very interesting topic. We at Epicor, we actually work with a lot of IoT devices and different robotics or different tools that our manufacturers use. My background is actually in robotics. I spent many years building autonomous robots for various industrial applications. I think physical AI, what that will involve, and I think that's the next revolution, is think of it this way, is if we were to roll a ball off this table, you would understand that, the ball fell, so it's probably on the ground behind the table. Mm. Well, an AI doesn't know that because it doesn't understand all of that. To it the ball disappeared. So the thing is, to a human, when the ball goes off the table, you understand that it's on the other side of the table. To an AI, it goes off the table, it's it's gone. What happened? So I think that's the next kind of what's coming, is that kind of physical AI, the AI being able to understand the physical world. Mm. And then what's that going to lead to? Self-driving, maybe even robotics within the factory floor, where I think we've seen kind of like Tesla's robots and stuff, right? Like these humanoid robots that can complete tasks.
Right.
I think, we're going to see more and more of that. But again, that can be scary because you could think we're going to replace human jobs and things. But if anything, I think human jobs will change and we'll be able to do a lot more than we could before.
Yeah, absolutely. Look into the future. Can you see a future where cobots and, AMRs and, robotic arms are literally running your factory? Is that even in the foreseeable future?
I think very much in the foreseeable future. I think it will happen. I think if anything, it'll allow distributors, manufacturers to distribute that much more stuff. It'll allow people to focus on creating that much more new things. I think if anything, I'm very positive about the AI revolution. I see it as a renaissance of human creativity.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Arturo. This has been a great conversation. We really appreciate it.
All right. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Sheri, what a great interview. Thank you so much for sharing that from Epicor Insights. Looks like you had a great time in Vegas. I'll just say that.
Yes, I had a blast in Vegas. It's such a cool city. And Nevada is just gorgeous. Can I just say that? Like, if you've never been to Nevada, if you've never been out to like the desert, it is so gorgeous. I'm an outdoor girly. I know that I probably do not give out that vibe with my fashion sense, and I have to tell you, like, side note here, I just have to shout out to these adorable people that I saw at the Pitbull show. I don't know if you've seen my LinkedIn, but I got decked out because it was Vegas and it was Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305 in the house. I had to go decked out. So I wore my sequined low back, dress the population dress, and I got so many compliments. First of all, there were so many people who were just so sweet, like fist bumping me, high fiving, telling me I was just so well dressed. These sweet people came up to me and said that they were playing a game where they were naming the best and worst dressed at the event. And they told me that I was their best dressed, and I just,
Oh my, I
Isn't
bet
that
that made
sweet?
your entire trip.
Okay, so you know I'm a fashion girl, and the Met Gala is like my Super Bowl. So of course, like Monday night, I was all about watching the Met Gala as it happened, all of fashion. So having some sweet people in Vegas tell me that I made their best dress list made my night. So thank you all who are so sweet and came up and complimented me on my dress. It made my night. So back to the podcast. So Sarah,
All right.
yeah, tell us
Yeah.
about this augmented reality packaging. I need to know. I need to know more. Tell me about it.
So you're thinking, Sarah, what is augmented reality packaging? Great point. I have an example to show you, Sheri. So, this is not a paid sponsorship. I just happen to be a consumer of Diet Coke. They have their Share a Diet Coke campaign is back this year, and it's back with some new fun features. So if you actually look at the side of the can, it's going to be a little hard to see. There is a QR code. So you can just take your phone like this, take a picture of the QR code.
For those of you on the podcast
And it'll-
that are not watching on YouTube, Sarah is taking a picture of the QR code with her phone.
That's what I'm doing. Thank you, Sheri. She's announcing for me. And we have this cool little thing that pops up. And it's going to be hard to see because this is my personal phone. I might have to do a better video. I might have to, get my neighbor involved or something to record me. But I'm just going to put my birthday in really fast. Hold on while I spin the year like it's the Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, please.
And it has all these little templates. So augmented reality packaging is creating immersive digital experiences for consumers through campaigns like this with Diet Coke. So I actually did this little video earlier today, and we'll be sharing Sheri and I's version of the Diet Coke video, which you can briefly see here. We'll share it on LinkedIn next week. It's got cute pictures of us from Pack Expo and from ProMat. But the base thing with augmented reality packaging is that once it's scanned by a consumer smartphone, like this QR code here, the package comes to life. It creates digital campaigns like this. It can also enhance sustainability efforts because it can include items that can't fit on the package, or it can, use less packaging because you can scan it with your phone and get all of the info right there. And it also can be enhanced with AI to boost engagement. And augmented reality packaging is already being deployed by huge companies. I showed Diet Coke already. We'll talk about Nestle. Nestle has a QR code on Kit Kats in the UK to help shoppers that are visually impaired. Wow. So it's not just about digital cute videos, which we do love. It's also helping, people that have vision loss, sight loss, things like that. And it's all on packagingoem.com, and we shared it on LinkedIn very recently. If you want to read more about it, you can find it there. But Sheri, I know I threw a lot at you.
That's a lot.
Do you have any questions?
Absolutely. Yeah. Talk a little bit more about the sustainability aspect and how augmented reality can save on those resources, and become more environmentally friendly.
Yeah, so these smart labels, these QR codes, 2D barcodes, and I'll get into 2D barcodes in a second. These smart labels can replace traditional printed materials, so it reduces paper waste, it educates consumers on eco-friendly practices, and also the important thing to bring up is 2D barcodes Sunrise 2027. And Sheri, we could have a whole podcast just on Sunrise 2027.
Let's do it.
But it is the industry's date to transition to 2D barcodes at point of sale systems. The difference between a 1D barcode that you're used to, that is probably on this Diet Coke can I have right here. It's 12 lines. It can only hold so much info. And other nice factor I'll pull in about these 1D barcodes, first time it was ever scanned was in Ohio. Sheri had a great branding name that we didn't take advantage of.
I'm telling you, the Buckeye barcode. Yeah, you should have, why not? Come on, Ohio.
The Buckeye beep, beep.
Beep, beep. Buckeye beep.
So this little guy can hold some data. A QR code, 2D barcode like this guy over here, can hold almost an infinite amount more. It uses shapes like squares to encode information, and most people have a smartphone in their pocket, so they can just take them out, scan this little guy, and learn all about the product, the allergens, the nutritional info, cute digital campaigns like we just showed you. But yeah, Sunrise 2027 is coming up. We're here, it's May 2025. It'll be here before we know it. But back to augmented reality packaging real quick. I'm pretty sure Sheri has used this feature of augmented reality packaging. Have you ever been on a site like Amazon and you wanted to try on makeup virtually?
Have we met? Of course I do.
I figured.
Makeup, hairstyles, absolutely. All of those are forms of augmented reality. That's so cool. And that's not necessarily a new technology. Let's take it back. Let's roll it back. Back in my day, you could even in the age of dial-up, take a picture of yourself and see what you would look like with a different hairstyle or a different hair color. I
was around for dial-up.
Old, so yes, thank you.
I was around for dial-up. So yeah, augmented reality packaging, there's a whole story about it on the research report on packagingoem.com. A lot of companies, as I mentioned, are deploying it. And the thing that we have to keep on the radar is Sunrise 2027. And I'm sure Sheri and I will dive further deep into that. There are several stories on packagingoem.com that reference Sunrise 2027. Yeah. So you can just find them on our website.
Yeah, why don't we link them? We can link them in our comments and over on LinkedIn, which if you're not, now here's where I'm going to jump in. If you're not following us on LinkedIn, what are you even doing with life? If you're not following us on SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram now, we have a brand new Instagram profile at the.downtime. So go follow us on Instagram. Anytime we're at a show, if we have fun videos, if we have little chats that we're able to capture, go check us out. I know I just uploaded a lot of stuff from Epicor Insights from Las Vegas, some fun stuff. Anytime I do a quick video, it'll be up there. I'm sure Sarah's going to have a lot of great stuff as well, especially with Automate coming up. There's going to be a lot of great photos and videos up at our new Instagram. So go give us a follow.
Yes, for sure. And I'll wrap up augmented reality packaging with a little 2D barcode info. Our supervisor, Stephanie Neal, who seems to make it into be mentioned in this podcast weekly, which is cool because she's great. She had a great webinar a few months ago with the crew from GS1 US, and GS1 sets the standards for barcodes. It's a great story. We've shared it on social before. I just shared it myself about a week ago again. So we will link that in our LinkedIn comments and in our show description.
That sounds great. So jumping back to Epicor for a minute here, the 1,000-pound gorilla that maybe 100 men are fighting, I don't know, maybe not, was tariffs. Everyone was talking about it. Manufacturers, distributors, across the supply chain, everyone is worried about tariffs. Companies are trying to figure out how to get around it, how to get ahead of it. And it's really difficult when we don't really know what's going to happen. In fact, today I just grabbed a headline that I just saw that changed twice since I've been watching the story. It's the news. We're actually recording this episode on May 9th, so who knows how things are going to change in the next 30 seconds. That now there are talks that Chinese tariffs may actually be cut down to 80% from the previously announced 145%. So this just gives you an idea of how uncertain things are. We had a great keynote from Gene Marks. He is a columnist with The Guardian. He writes for a lot of other outlets as well. He's an accountant. He had some really excellent advice. And a fun fact about me, I covered the financial markets for a really long time before I got into engineering B2B. So he had some really great ideas that I don't think a lot of people would initially think about. So, things like bonded warehouses and free trade zones, like coming up next week, you are leaving very soon. I hope you're packed. Have you packed your bags?
No. I am a few things. I am not packed. One of my dogs is coming with me and he's not packed. The two other dogs are going to stay with the relative. They're not packed. We have a lot of work to do. And we're going to leave in like less than 48 hours. So yeah, we got a lot to get done, but I'm really excited for Automate. I have a packed schedule. I'm going to bring back great content, videos, photos, photo galleries, maybe even some GIFs. I love a good GIF from Automate. I am bringing the Win-mobile as well.
We're winning. It's a winning moment.
Here, we'll do it like it's going across the screen. There we go. I'm meeting with SCW Eurodrive, with Zebra Technologies to talk about RFID, do some material handling with Bosch Repro, and I'm visiting the SICK crew again, SICK Sensor Intelligence, and always a great time to visit them. I saw them at ProMat. I met a lot of their employees. They were wonderful. And I'm also meeting some people that I have never met before, including Belco feeders, advanced motion controls, creative automation, and some robotics. We got Casau Robotics, we got Kuka Robotics. So, Sheri, it's going to be off the chain. If you like a good manufacturing packaging video with some house EDM music, follow Packaging OEM on LinkedIn and Instagram because they're coming in hot.
We love it. We love our EDM music with our packaging and conveyance video, do we not?
Elevated a bit. You got to hold it till the beat drops, and then you show like a conveyor whoosh, shooting something out. Man, I like that a lot.
Absolutely.
I like that a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I don't know if you know this, but before you know it, it will be Control Engineering System Integrator Awards season. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. We are getting ready. As a matter of fact, I have some news in my hot little hands that I will bring to you, and you are getting it from me first. Coming up, System Integrator Giants, System Integrator of the Year submission forms are going live June 2nd. So you need to watch this. And we need to get ready. We are not that far away at all from System Integrator Award season. So watch this space. We will definitely bring you the links. So June 2nd, System Integrator Giants, System Integrator of the Year submission forms are going live.
I have to ask Sheri, do you spell it season, S-Z-N?
We do.
Season?
Yes, absolutely.
Season?
Season.
Put a little seasoning on it?
Season and...
Very cool. I can't wait.
It's great. Yeah. Just found out, I think an hour before we started recording this. So you're getting it here first. June 2nd. Yeah.
This just in.
Just to kind of give you a preview of what you can expect in addition to all that great awesomeness from Automate that Sarah is going to be bringing to us. I'm going to have a story about LinkedIn's fastest growing jobs for new grads. We are coming up on grad season. We are really getting close to grad season.
We're in it.
We are in grad season. And you know what? At the top of the list of LinkedIn's fastest growing jobs for new grads, AI engineer, data center tech, system engineer. They're in the top 5. We talk about it all the time that engineering and manufacturing, we are in the midst of a labor shortage. And here's a new generation of engineers and, manufacturing techs that are coming into this world where these are the hottest jobs. These are the fastest growing jobs. How are we filling those roles? What are we doing about the fact that we do have a labor gap? So you don't want to miss that. Check us out next week with Automate Recap and a great story on LinkedIn's fastest growing jobs, which include a ton of jobs that are relevant to our audiences.
So, Sheri, you're going to tell me that a digital journalist who likes to make GIFs of their coworkers didn't make the top 10?
I'm sad to say it, but not this year. Next year for sure. Next year is your year. I feel it.
We're kind of like one of a kind.
We are. We're unique. You can't duplicate us. Whee! All right. Whee! All right. All right. So that wraps up another episode of the Downtime. Thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Downtime. Peace. We're out.